Hi guys, this is Jason. I'm back today to talk to you about animals. So my family actually just got back from vacation, and while we were on our trip, we saw a lot of animals as we were driving through farmland. We saw horses, we saw goats, we saw cows, we saw some sheep, and so I thought it would be fun to talk to you today about what we call these animals, because believe it or not, there's some really funny names. So let's get started. First, I want to talk about singular and plural animals. Now, some of them are very simple, okay? And by the way, we actually covered singular and plural nouns before, but I tried to change the nouns just a little bit, but you'll still see some patterns. So here's one. We have horse and horses. How do you make it plural? Just put an S on the end. Here's another one, wolf and wolves. You'll notice that wolf ends with an F, but we change it to a VES. There are a lot of other words in English language that do that as well. How about this? One fly or two flies. Again, when you make it plural, you get rid of the Y and you put an IES. But these are the rules. There are a lot of exceptions. How about this? A deer. So deer are very beautiful animals, and we saw some when we were on our trip, but you had to know if you saw a deer or if you saw some deer, because both words are singular and plural are the same. Tuna. Oh, I love tuna sandwich. I love tuna on my kimbap too. But tuna, just like all fish, or I should say most fish, it's singular and plural the same. So one tuna, two tuna. One salmon, two salmon. One trout, two trout. Cow can be really interesting because we can have one cow or two cows, but we often use the word cattle instead. So you saw a lot of cattle on the side of the street. That means you saw many cows. How about this? One goose and two geese. And last one octopus, some octopi. Octopi. By the way, octopuses, you put P-U-S-E-S is correct. But if you want to sound smart, say octopi. Now, next, baby animals actually have different names as well. So just like a human, we say I'm a man or I'm a baby. Well, we have names for those baby animals. So a baby dog is called a puppy. A baby cat is called a kitten. A baby kangaroo is interesting. Baby kangaroo is called a joey. Why? I don't know. But if you see a joey around, it could be a boy's name or it could be a baby kangaroo. A dolphin is called a calf. Okay, by the way, calf, the L is silent. Now, there are lots of calves in the world. A baby cow is also a calf. Same thing for the baby horse. So, baby horse is a calf. But dolphins are calves as well. A bear is a cub. So, you see a baby cub. For example, a Cub Scout is a little cub or a little boy or a little girl. Deer, we already mentioned the deer. Well, the most famous deer in Disney history is named Bambi. Bambi was first appeared as a fawn when he had those white spots on his fur. Okay? Then we have a goat and a kid. A kid is a word we often use to describe children today, but it first came from goats. Baby goat, a kid. Okay? Last one, a chicken and a chick. Okay? By the way, there's a really fun TV show that I grew up watching called Happy Days. Now, don't say this, but back then, Happy Days, the fawns used to call girls chicks. Please don't do that. It's not very polite. In fact, a woman might slap you across the face for calling her a chick. But a baby chicken, that's okay. You can call them a chick. All right. Last thing I want to do It talks about groups of animals. Believe it or not, we actually have different words for groups of different types of animals. Now, the most common one is a herd. There are lots of animals that are a herd. For example, a herd of cattle, a herd of buffalo, a herd of camels, a herd of elephants, a herd of donkeys, a herd of deer, a herd of oxen, and a herd of llamas. One more thing you'll notice, camels, elephants, donkeys, oxen, and llamas are all plural nouns. Okay, cattle, buffalo, deer, well, singular and plural, they're the same. But whenever we talk about a herd of something or a group of something, we always make it a plural noun. Here's another one, a troop. So we have a troop of monkeys, a troop of apes, a troop of baboons, a troop of gorillas, a troop of foxes, a troop of kangaroos. And monkeys, apes, baboons, and gorillas, of course, these are all very similar animals, so it's not surprising that we say a troop of them. But we also say a troop of foxes or a troop of kangaroos. We also have colonies. So you can have a colony of ants, a colony of frogs, a colony of bats, a colony of penguins, a colony of beavers, and a colony of rats. Okay? Sometimes you'll hear a nest of rats, but a colony of rats is also a good one. We also have pods. So there are actually two different animals we say a pod of whales and a pod of dolphins. So last year, my family took a trip to Alaska. When we were on the cruise ship going up to Alaska, we saw pods of whales and dolphins. And every time my daughter screamed because she was so excited. I wanted to scream too, but I didn't have the excuse of being a little girl. Next, we have a pack of mules, a pack of weasels, a pack of wolves, and a pack of dogs. So all of these are packs, these are groups of things, okay? The last slide I'm going to show you is actually very fun, okay? So these are different animals that also have different names. For example, a flock of birds. Now, I already showed you a colony of penguins, but a flock of birds is correct. You could also say a flock of seagulls, which of course is a type of bird, okay? How about this? A zeal of zebras. Zeal actually is a noun. It means enthusiasm for something. But zebras, we say a group of them are a zeal of zebras. A shiver of sharks. Now I like this one too. If you don't know, shiver means like to shake your body. Well, people shake their body for two reasons. Either they're cold or they're scared. I imagine you see a lot of sharks, you're pretty scared. So a shiver of sharks. How about this? It's a pretty terrible one. They say a murder of crows. Murder, if you don't know, that means to purposely kill another person. Now, crows have a bad reputation, I'm afraid. But instead of saying a flock of crows, we say a murder of crows, a group of crows flying together. I believe there's something superstitious about that. The next one's also really fun. How about a stench of skunks? A skunk, if you don't know, is an animal that's got black and white fur, and when it feels in danger, it sprays this chemical that smells really, really bad. And it can sometimes scare off a predator. Stench means something has a very bad smell. So a stench of skunks is a very funny term. We have a school of fish, okay? And most fish, you could say the same thing. A school of fish, a school of clownfish, a school of trout, a school of salmon, okay? How about a swarm of flies. Many insects we say a swarm of. For example, a swarm of bees, a swarm of gnats, a swarm of insects. A gaggle of geese. Gaggle actually is a term, it means a lot of noise. So imagine that you're in line at a restaurant and you're waiting for a table and usually gaggle, 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 gaggle. Well, now you know what it sounds like to be around a group of geese, a gaggle of geese. You can have a litter of puppies. A litter of puppies is a very common term. Whenever a dog has babies, they don't have one, they have many. So we call them a litter. This is one of my favorites, a pride of lions. Pride, again, is an emotion that you feel. When you feel pride, you feel proud of yourself. You feel like you've accomplished something really good. I feel a great deal of pride in this video that I'm making for you right now. Well, when you look at a group of lions, they look like they have a lot of pride as well. How about this? A barrel of monkeys. Now, I already taught you a troop of monkeys, which is correct. A barrel of monkeys is another term you can use for the same animals. But a barrel of monkeys is also an idiom. It means that it's a group of people that are going to make a mess or do something to get in trouble. I like this one too. A parliament of owls. Owls, if you were to give an owl an emotion, maybe you would say that they're the wise animals. Okay, they're the smarter ones. Well, parliament is a British term for Congress. So the parliament is their legislature. And so hopefully the British Parliament is as wise as this group of owls. We can have a colony of penguins. I think I mentioned that already, actually. Okay. You can have a warren of rabbits. Warren actually can be a place, but rabbits typically live underground. They live in a rabbit hole, but the rabbit hole is more than just one simple hole. It can be a big group of holes that are connected to each other. So we can call that a warren or a warren of rabbits. A crash of rhinos or a crash of rhinoceroses. So a rhino is a good animal that likes to run and charge things. Well, imagine it's running and charging and crash! It hits something. So a crash of rhinos, be careful of that. And then the last one, a drove of sheep. So sheep are usually in a group as well. And so if you're a shepherd and you're making sure that your sheep are doing what they are, then you take them from one place to another so they can get grass, so they can stay safe. So you have to drive them somewhere. They are a drove of sheep. All right, guys, I want to say good job. I hope you understand what I said today. If so, you did an outstanding job. I hope you have a great afternoon, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again or talking to you again soon. Bye.